Are you ready?
Quit time!
We are the best in the world at what we do.
It's the PriMalLow Wrestling Show with Robert Price, Tom Malloy, and your host, Rich Lopez.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the month of November. This is the PriMalLow Wrestling Show, episode number 31. I'm your host, Rich Lopez, here at my two colleagues, Robert Price and Tom Malloy.
Hello, hello.
Gobble, gobble.
That means Thanksgiving. Survivor Series are approaching. On the show this week, we will be talking about kind of the world of MMA, and because Kurt Angle just said that he signed a contract with Bellator, so we're going to talk about him and how we think he will do. And also Ronda Rousey, as everybody knows, pretty much the face of UFC, made a couple remarks in a couple promotion interviews saying that she wants to become the Divas champion. So we're going to talk about that. And as always, we're going to have a quick break. And then after that, we're going to talk about current, WWE storylines. One being Del Rio and the United States Championship. And then also Ryback saying he could be the next John Cena in regards to being the face of the company.
We're also going to have another PriMalLow remake. This time we're going back to the 80s with a traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series match, all-time 80s wrestlers.
Then we're going to finish our show with our self-high-five WWE World Heavyweight Championship matches that took place at Survivor Series.
Definitely. So I hope you guys stay tuned, enjoy the show, and we will proceed with our topic discussions. Okay, let's talk about this rival company in regards to competitive sports of WWE, that being the sport of MMA, mixed martial arts. Kurt Angle, who was a former WWE champion, said that he is going to leave TNA in a couple months and pursue his martial arts career, and he signed with Bellator, correct?
Correct.
So let's just get right into it. Price, I know you kind of follow mixed martial arts. What do you think, Kurt Angle? Do you think he'll do well, or are you surprised that he even is pursuing this so late in his? Athletes, once you get to like 35 and older, you're pretty much on borrowed time. But do you think he'll do okay?
I think that he'll do fine. I mean, wrestlers tend to do well in the mixed martial arts. Obviously, this is kind of his escape route since a couple years ago he kind of had this dream of being on the U.S. wrestling team, so This is his backup plan. However, he's 46 years old now, so
I feel like that's kind of really old to do your first match.
But going to Bellator, there's a couple guys, people that the UFC kind of put out to pasture. We have like Ken Shamrock that's there, who's 51. You have Tito Ortiz, who fights there. Rampage fought there a couple times. King Mo. These guys are all older fighters that still have something to give to the business of MMA. So I think that he'll do good.
Okay. Lloyd, what do you think? I know for us, we don't really follow MMA that much.
Yeah.
But we know that Kurt Angle, is wrestling.
Yeah, I follow MMA for a little bit here and there, but I think he'll do fine. I think it's kind of old. Kind of old to be going at it, because there's a lot of risk of injury there.
Definitely.
But like he said, I remember reading a lot of articles how he wants to be on the U.S. wrestling team, and overall, maybe he's just trying to make a dream come true. Maybe become the champion in Bellator for the weight class that he's going to enter.
Let me do another question, because as well with his age, everybody knows his neck injuries and how many he's had. He's had a lot of neck injuries. I think even in a wrestling podcast with Steve Austin, the Stone Cold podcast, he said that I guess they went to the same doctor, and the doctor said the only other neck that's worse than Angle's is Austin's. So do you think that'll have a factor in his training and possible success in MMA, Price?
That's going to be his weakness.
You think so?
I don't think so. I think that, he knows about his neck, but, if you have a bad arm and you're going into a fight, what are you doing? You're protecting your arm.
Yeah.
And also, I think that he has so much muscle around his neck that, there's been times where, he broke his neck before and continuously wrestled. Yes, he was younger, but...
No, I mean, I just want to, your thoughts. I think he's going to do well because of his wrestling ability. It's world class, and it's been world class for, decades pretty much. So what are you going to say, Price?
I got two questions for you about this topic, though.
Okay.
Number one, do you think this pushed any kind of pressure on CM Punk, who just pulled out of a fight due to injury?
If Angle somehow does a match before Punk, I definitely think the pressure's on Punk.
I was reading about this earlier. Doesn't he already have a match coming up?
No, he bailed out. It was supposed to be the end of this year.
I mean Kurt Angle. Doesn't he already have a match coming up?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't read anything on it. I just knew he signed. He could very well. I just don't know.
Because he might have been training for years and just really
Oh,
didn't talk.
he has been training for.
Well,
a
with
couple
TNA,
years.
everybody says the difference between TNA and WWE is that the the schedule is, 10 times lighter. So I'm sure he trains when he's not on TV in TNA. So
and he's not on TV a lot anymore in TNA. So
exactly. So he definitely could be training. And what's your other question, Preston?
My other question is: we all know that wrestlers that go to pro wrestlers that go to the MMA are kind of made fun of, and they're like, "Oh, they're not real athletes." Do you think that his win-loss record with Bellator will affect his career of professional wrestling, or if he'll even go back to professional wrestling if he wins or loses?
I think if he goes back to professional wrestling, it's going to be in a trainer, behind the scenes fashion, because I don't think he has any bad blood with Triple H. Triple H. I think by that time when he's done with Bellator, Triple H will be 100% full control of WWE. So I think he can go back. Even TNA, obviously, I think he's leaving there on good terms, and he's been close with Dixie Carter for years. So I think he'll be doing stuff behind the scenes. Will the win-loss record of Bellator affect? Is that what you said?
Will that affect pro wrestling, like pro wrestlers going into MMA, if he wins or loses?
I don't think so. I don't think it ever will. It's just a different sport. Some people could adapt to it quicker than others.
yeah, I mean, look at Ken Shamrock. He was one of the best UFC fighters, and also look at Brock Lesnar as well.
Exactly.
I mean, he was undefeated, right? Or he lost his first match or second match.
He lost his first match.
Yeah, but he was undefeated afterwards, right?
But he dominated that match. He just, like a rookie mistake kind of thing. But because look at that. Like you said, Ken Shamrock, Lesnar. But then there's people like Batista,
Bobby Lashley.
Like they never they never made it all the way.
Yeah.
Daniel Puder.
Exactly. Well, I think he left WWE to pursue that though, right? Like he did that on his own.
Yeah, but he didn't do good.
No, I didn't. I'm not saying he did good, but it's not like because Lesnar, Lashley, Batista, Shamrock came, but those three left on not the greatest terms, and they wanted to do that, and Lesnar worked out, the other two didn't. But.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it just depends how athletes adapt to, and their passion. I mean, I always say passion has a big deal to do with it, but another thing about passion is Ronda Rousey. A lot of people have passion for her, especially in the male audience, like Malloy over here.
Yes.
Yeah. No. She is fighting. Who's she fighting? Home. I could be completely wrong.
I don't know.
Anyway,
it might be Holly Holmes.
I think it's Holly. That's what I thought it was. But anyway, she's been doing a lot of promotional interviews for that match, which is on November 14th. And one of them was how she wants to be a champion in boxing, a Divas champion, and of course for WWE audience like us, that got everybody excited. Jim Ross even wrote a blog on it and stuff like that. So, do you think it would be a good move for WWE to bring her in in the near future, like more recent than let her put it like this? Do you think WWE will try to pursue her by WrestleMania season or even maybe WrestleMania 33 season, or do you think they're gonna wait for her UFC career to fade out entirely and then bring her in? Price, I'm sorry.
I think it would be a good move. I think that by WrestleMania 33, they might try to bring her in. Okay. However, she's 28 years old. She has stated many times that once she's done with her UFC career, she does not want to be fighting past the age of 30. She's undefeated right now, so obviously she's the hottest thing. So if she was to get the title, how do you make her drop the title?
What, UFC?
No, drop the WWE title.
Oh, so you think she's going to be a champion while at UFC? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think that after her contract, because Dana White will not allow her.
That's what I was going to say. That's why I was confused.
So this will have to be after she's done with her.
It might be like China. Didn't China just drop the title when she left?
They could just let her just retire with the Divas title, but I mean,
I figure if she ever wins the title, well, Malay, let me hear your thoughts on it.
I think it'd be awesome. And I was reading reports, too, that The Rock said he's down to wrestle at WrestleMania 32.
Yeah, I read it,
but
too.
Regardless of that, he said the only way he'll face Triple H is if Ronda Rousey can be in his corner.
Well, no, if Stephanie and Rousey have involvement in the match. Otherwise, It's just going to be Lesnar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but overall, with that, I think she'll stay. I don't know. With Dana White, he's not anything. He's not pro wrestling. He's not really into it. So I don't think he's going to let her do that. He probably does not think that's best for business.
Nice.
But overall, I could see her coming in after she retires from UFC. I could see her retiring from UFC after she fights Cyborg.
If that ever happens.
If that ever happens. Because that's a dream match. And
That's the only other match that she could have
yeah,
in the UFC.
yeah, because I think she'll after that, or if she loses, she'll come into the WWE world. I could see her as a champion, especially. I mean, she's only 28.
Yeah.
She can make a longevity career out of that.
I think that if she's ever going to be champion, she has to have a short-term career in WWE because of the fact that, like you said, you don't know how she would lose the title unless she gets maybe screwed in the match or whatever. But other than that, I don't really understand how. Why are you laughing? Don't be pervert.
Bring
dude.
China back.
Yeah.
No, I'm laughing because of the fact of like, why would you want to bring her back? Why would you want to? If you were to have to bring Ronda Rousey in there, you would have to actually have a Divas Revolution.
Well, they do.
Like no, fast forward this thing instead of making this slow thing of having 3 different groups and this
We'll see
person's
how
going
the
to fight
Divas
this
division
group.
is in 3 years. I mean, I really think that it's not going to be anytime soon. She's just making too much money in UFC.
I also think that anything that she says, people are taking. Like,
Exactly. She's like,
do you want to fight Tyson? Yeah, I got 6 seconds.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
I mean,
she's smart. She's smart with her marketing. But all right, let's say she does come back, with it. Let's say she does make a, little short career and like within these 2 years. Who do you guys see her facing in the Divas division?
I think her versus Sasha Banks would be a great match.
I don't think that.
Charlotte.
I completely agree with that. I was gonna say maybe even Paige, just because Paige's match or her skill set, her move set, excuse me, is very, very brutal. Go ahead.
And the only other person I was going to say was if they build up Nia Jax.
I was thinking the same thing actually.
Because
kinda.
she's a bigger diva, plus size diva, and they're going to try to build her as if they were going to build Karma. Thank you. When she initially came in, big strong diva that nobody could really do anything to, and Ronda comes in there and just flips her in 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see because it was reported that Ronda wanted to be part of WrestleMania 32, but then she signed. She's gonna be doing a movie, and I think filming starts around that season. So people were saying that she's not even gonna make it. But now with The Rock saying that he would face Triple H only if Stephanie and Ronda have an involvement. So we'll see if she even tries to make an appearance. We all know that she really loves wrestling. So
She's awesome.
Yeah, she's a cool chick when she is in interviews. So it's gonna be cool to see. I mean, I hope I do see her in a ring in the future. So we'll see how that is. When we come back, we're gonna continue our topic discussion with current WWE superstars Del Rio and Ryback. Will Ryback be the next John Cena? Find out our thoughts when we come back.
Hey, I'm Tom Malloy from the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Do you like Facebook? Do you like wrestling? Like our page. Search the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Enjoy.
Welcome back. It's the PriMalLow Wrestling Show, episode number 31. I'm your host, Rich Lopez, here with Robert Price and Tom Malloy.
Hello.
What's up?
On SmackDown, let's just get right into this. We're going to continue the topic discussion. On SmackDown, Alberto Del Rio and Zeb Coulter, they're the new U.S. champion. He said that the U.S. title is a divisive name, meaning it's a very divisional title because it's only for the U.S. And he thinks that there should be a title that symbolizes more, as in the U.S. title should symbolize Mexico and America. So I guess Del Rio's naming this title the Mex-American Championship, which I think is kind of like the cheesiest thing ever. But, okay, do you guys think that if this catches on, do you think that this will actually be a real title, or do you think that this is just a storyline for a upcoming feud or anything? Malloy, we'll start with you.
I think overall, hopefully it's just a storyline because that is really stupid to call a championship that.
Yeah.
I think something like the North American Heavyweight Championship or something like that would be more fitting because it sounds like
It's more professional.
It sounds
regional.
it sounds like a real title.
Yeah.
And something like Mex-America, that's stupid. What about Canada?
Yeah.
Kevin Owens gonna be mad. It's gonna be a Canadian American title when he gets it.
That's true. Well, it's just like that too. Like, why didn't Rusev name it something?
Well, I thought he was gonna bring back the European title.
So did I was excited, but that would have been obviously reasonable.
Yeah.
That's actually a prestigious title that has already been made. You can't just make a name and stuff like that. Price, what are your thoughts?
You also can't destroy the history that the title has.
Exactly.
I mean, you have people like Harley Race and Ric Flair and Lex
Austin.
Luger and Sting and Austin. Right.
Bret Hart.
Ricky Steamboat.
There's a
There we
lot.
go. All those guys, I mean, you can't just change it. I
Okay.
hope that it is a storyline. I hope
Okay,
that
would
this
you-
Mex-American storyline, that a real American takes the title from him.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan? No, I'm joking. Jack Swagger.
Jack Swagger.
But, okay, do you think, because you said you don't want to erase the history by renaming it.
Right.
So you think they'll let the U.S. title vanish in the sunset and then bring a new title in?
No, I just think that this is going to be a storyline, and then somebody's going to beat him, and it's
Who's
going
gonna
to be
beat
the
him?
U.S. title. I don't know, John Cena, maybe when he comes back from his little vacation.
TLC? What do you think, Malloy?
I don't know. Maybe they can finally do something with Jack Swagger.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You got to
Well,
think.
he
you
was
gotta
in a
be more-
lumberjack match, and he tried to run towards the cameras just to get TV time.
You got to do what you got to do to get,
Hey, man, he's still
known.
making more money than us.
Yeah. Somebody that's known as Ryback, who was just a former Intercontinental Champion. And I don't know if you guys even knew this, but Austin was at Hell in a Cell. Steve Austin, he was at Hell in a Cell. And he was there he wanted to do a podcast with Arn Anderson and Ryback. Not them together, but like one with Arn Anderson, one with Ryback. And I guess he wasn't able to do one with Arn Anderson because he was doing all the, matches and stuff like that. But he got to do one with Ryback. And in that podcast, he said that Ryback said this himself, excuse me. He went up to Vince McMahon, up to his face, and said, "I'm in this for the long haul. I could be the next John Cena guy." Like the face of the company. The ones that kids always look up to. Hulk Hogan, John Cena, Ryback. Does that even sound legitimate?
Yeah, it does.
You think so?
I think that his heart is in with professional wrestling,
I agree.
and he's one of the guys that I don't feel as though will turn his back on WWE,
I agree.
even if a company becomes bigger, which obviously won't happen overnight.
Okay. So, Malloy, what do you think? I know you're a Malloy back guy.
I'm a bigger Ryback supporter, but I do not see him having the potential of being the next John Cena. I mean, yeah, he's really popular with kids. He's really popular amongst the fans, and he definitely loves what he does. I mean, I don't see him leaving to go anywhere else anytime soon.
No, yeah.
And I don't see WWE wanting to screw him either. That's what's going to happen in his career. WWE will end up screwing him, not the other way around.
What do you mean screwing him?
Lowballing him.
Lowballing him,
Okay,
making
that's
him
not
like
bad.
job and stuff like that.
Like contracts
Yeah,
and stuff.
it's-
Not like,
they're
like
not.
making him leave like during a match.
Yeah.
Like a screw job, which might be later in our show.
But yeah, overall though, he does not have the potential. He is nothing more than an Intercontinental Champion.
Mid-Carter,
Mid-Carter,
as we
yeah.
stated last week.
Yeah, as actually added my topics for our what was that segment called?
The level up segment.
Yeah.
It
Last
was
week.
called Level Up.
Yeah.
Know your segments, Tom.
Know your segments, dude.
Know your role.
Okay, so what do you think is hindering him from being that guy, Malloy? Since you don't think he could be it.
He's not really good with promos. That's number one.
Okay.
Number two is wrestling style. I just doesn't think he doesn't have an arsenal of moves.
He doesn't have a flashy finisher.
Yeah, I mean the shell shock. It sounds cool, but it looks stupid.
Yeah. Most finishers do look stupid nowadays, though. Did you ever notice that?
Even like
We should talk about it.
We did a topic discussion on it a couple times. That's how
But-
bad it is. We had to do it a couple times.
overall, I just don't see him being the next big guy. The next big people in the company is Ambrose, Reigns.
Somebody from the Shield or Wyatt family.
Shield or Wyatt family is going to run WWE for the next 10 years, not Ryback.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. His promos, they've definitely gotten a lot better. I always felt like Ryback and Reigns, they're the two that WWE wanted to push so much, but they were just doing it too fast. And now I think they're both maturing,
Yeah.
especially in promos. And it's just that I just think that Reigns is just catching on more than Ryback, and he always will.
If you make if Ryback becomes more of a dominant wrestler, because he did have a great match with Kevin Owens, but he still looked weak, compared
Yeah.
to Kevin Owens. If they made him into a monster again, and I think he would legitimately be able to be at least a top contender for the world title or become
I
a
think
world
if
title
he's
for
a
a
heel
short
and he doesn't
span.
get buried,
Yeah.
he could have more success as a heel. Because I think he really was doing well as that bully gimmick.
Yeah.
But just don't make it a bully gimmick. Like, just don't make it, like, strictly they kept calling him a bully and stuff like that.
But you can't have him be this big monster and then have people that are bigger than him. Like Kevin Owens
He's
just
not-
destroys him, or
Oh,
like
that's what I
Big
mean,
Show
yeah.
came up and then just destroys him, and Kane destroys him, the Ultimate Jobber.
No, I know what you mean. It would be cool to see, but I think he'll have more success, like maybe being like like you said, Ambrose or Reigns would be like the face of the company, and I think Rollins and Ryback can be the heels of the company, or Bray could be the heel of the company. Do you know what I mean? Something
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
So that's the way. But I mean, I did say he got better when he came back from that staph injury or whatever, or the
Staph infection.
No. That was when he was Intercontinental Champion. When he took that hiatus, when he was the groin injury.
Oh, yeah.
When he was with Curtis Axel. And when he came back, he was good. He got on with the fans. There's no Goldberg chance. So I definitely...
I'm happy that's over with because he is a better wrestler than Goldberg.
Better wrestler. He has more passion. He's a lot better than Goldberg.
Goldberg just wants to make money, and he just didn't make it as a football player.
Exactly.
That's another topic.
And Ryback got hurt and still wanted to come back and wrestle.
Well, that's why he was tag team, because he couldn't... His groin wouldn't allow him to do a 20-minute match by himself.
Right.
So he did tag team, just to be out there. So his passion's there, so we'll see where that leads him to. When we come back, it is our PriMalLow remake. We're taking it back to the 80s, which is where Survivor Series originally started, 1987, and we will talk about our all-time 5-on-5 match. Stay tuned.
Hey, I'm Rich Lopez from the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Don't forget to hear our new episodes of the PriMalLow Wrestling Show on SoundCloud. Episodes are uploaded every Tuesday night. Thank you for tuning in.
Welcome back. It's the PriMalLow Wrestling Show, episode number 31. You could always hit us up on social media, Facebook, SoundCloud, Twitter, YouTube now. Facebook, just search the PriMalLow Wrestling Show, like it, share it, comment, all that stuff. We love interacting with you guys. And our Twitter handle, got it right this time, is at PriMalLow Show. Like I said, just retweet, favorite. We'll just get the brand out there. We appreciate it. And then YouTube, you can just look it up, PriMalLow Wrestling Show episode, whatever you want. And then SoundCloud, PriMalLow Wrestling Show. So, like I said, we love interacting with you guys, and we appreciate it a lot. So let's get back to the show here. It's our PriMalLow remake, taking it back to the 80s. Survivor Series originally started 1987, and it was always, for the first 3 or 4 years, it was 5-on-5 matches, the whole pay-per-view card. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do that. We're going to do like an all-star game, like an NBA all-star game, I kind of envisioned it as. We're going to take 5 faces and 5 heels, put them together. The people that were the most successful in your eyes of the 80s. So, Price, what happened?
I'm ready.
You're
I'm
smiling.
ready.
I know. This is actually a really good segment. Next week we're going to do the 90s just for you 90s fans out there. So, the 80s though, today. Price, give me your faces.
My faces. The Ultimate Warrior.
Okay.
Junkyard Dog.
Okay.
Big Boss Man. Harley Race. Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
I like that.
Thank you.
Give me your heels.
Heels. Andre the Giant. Greg the Hammer Valentine.
I like that one.
King Kong Bundy.
That's another one.
Rick Martel. And Bob Orton.
I'm interested in why you picked Rick Martel out of all of them. I feel like just because he's the least notorious out of all of them. And then I'm trying to think of your faces again.
Warrior, Junkyard Dog, Big Boss Man, Harley Race, and Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Harley Race is the one. They're the two I had a question. I'm interested. Explain those two is what I'm saying.
Harley Race because I believe that he should have been bigger than what he was when he was in WWE.
You know what you did? Did he knock out Hogan in the locker room? And that's
Well,
why
yeah, but still, he
you gotta
should
do what
have.
you gotta do. He's a tough man.
Yeah.
But in the face of the fans, he should have had a bigger push
I
for
completely
what
agree.
he did
I completely
prior
agree.
to being in WWE.
Yep.
And then Rick Martel because I always believe the Survivor Series, you had that one big name guy, but during the 80s, this is you push people
Yeah.
during this match.
That is very true. Warren. That's actually how Warren got his big pushes in 03 and 04. But Malloy, give me your faces to start off.
All right, my face. I even got a team name, Team Hogan.
Whoa!
Right.
Very creative.
Yeah, right. You got Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, the Ultimate Warrior, and then 2 members of the Hart Foundation, Bret Hart and Jim the
Jam the Anvil Neidhart.
Anvil Neidhart. Yeah.
See, I like I just did like the All-Star cast, but he actually did like probably a more traditional Survivor Series match as he has
Right.
3 single stars and then a tag team to continue like the feuds. So I like that. Explain the Hart Foundation though. There's a lot of obviously the 80s tag teams. There's a lot of tag teams. So explain that why you chose them.
I just think overall, I was trying to look at technical wrestlers and like who I think would be in a great match. And I always just a big fan of the Hart Foundation, especially for 80s wrestling, 80s, 90s. You know, they were just a great team. Bret Hart, that's when he started like getting some steam on him. You know, Neidhart. I mean, he's our
Complimented him well.
Yeah, complimented him well. He was a good sidekick. You know, he's a good Robin.
I like that. Now give me your heels, please.
Heels, you got a Team Piper.
Nice.
Roddy Piper, Bob Orton, Honky Tonk Man, and then the Demolition Axe and Smash.
I like it. I really do like yours
I like his too,
for the template of what he did. I like that a lot. It's just, do I not see? Oh, you do. Okay, I didn't hear you say Savage. I was a little upset, But okay, explain Demolition. Like I said, there's a lot of tag teams. So why do you have them as heels?
I think they're just awesome as heels, like with the face paint. I mean, they took down the Legion of Doom.
Yeah.
I just think they were just all around sound tag team, two big guys, and I think having the Hart Foundation, who are smaller, well, Brett for the most part, against going big guys and overcoming the odds, it'd be a cool storyline.
Yeah, that's cool. What are you gonna say, Bryce?
How about Honky Tonk Man? Can you explain that one?
Yeah, I want to explain that. I did think about him too when
I couldn't think of any like big name heels, but Honky Tonk Man to me was like he's like the best mid card heel of the late '80s and early '90s,
and the greatest Intercontinental champion.
Yes.
in the '80s.
In the '80s.
Excuse me. He's not on my list, so I do want to point out that there's one main guy that we do not have on our list. Ted DiBiase.
Ooh.
Or Ric Flair.
Well, he's not really in the
Oh,
80s.
yeah,
We kept
he-
WWE.
yeah,
He came in
okay.
the 90s. Because I was thinking about putting him down, and if I had to put him down, I would have him replace one person who I will say. But I have team. Well, I just put on our sheets team face, team heel. For my face team, I have Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Brutus Beefcake, Jimmy Snuka, and Tito Santana. Do you want me to explain any of those?
Beefcake.
Beefcake, definitely Beefcake.
He was always one of those people that was extremely popular because of his gimmick. And he also didn't need a title. So I think he gets lost in the loop of the 80s.
He cut hair and got popular doing it.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
Exactly.
And then if I had to explain another person, it'd be Tito Santana too. But the bulk of his career, not the bulk of it, but you just forget about his career prior to WrestleManias, which you will probably do with a lot of people.
Right.
But he was very, very talented, Intercontinental Champion, and he was just a really like a dark horse in the company. For my team heel, I have Andre the Giant, Iron Sheik, Roddy Piper, Macho Man Randy Savage, and Jake Roberts.
You like heel Macho Man better than face?
I love heel Macho. First of all, you know me. I love when
Yeah.
people are heels over faces. I feel like with heels, there's like more raw emotion, and whatever they say is more authentic. That's why
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's why I connect with heels more. So whenever I get the option of, like Jake Roberts, he was a face and a heel. Savage was another one. Piper, who was the later part of the 80s, he was actually a face. That's just why I always take the heel version. Because most of all my faces, they were never a heel. All my options of heel face are heels, so that's why. What you said you were gonna have a comment, Price?
Why is your heel team so heavily more favorable to win than your face team?
Well,
You have like
if you
Tito
go-
Santana
yeah, if
and
you
you
go off
have
the-
Beefcake.
Well, first of all, I think Tito Santana. I mean, I kind of even almost the way I have it listed is like if they all face off singly, I think it kind of evens out personally. But especially if you have that psychology in the 80s, whatever team Hogan's on is the team that's gonna win.
You know,
so.
one person we're missing too, who I wish I kind of put down, Ravishing Rick Rude.
Yeah, well, he just not debuted later.
88, 89, right?
80, probably 87. He was in the first Survivor Series match, but there's obviously the 80s. It was so stacked. There's a lot of people that you could choose.
And everybody
But-
was a main eventer
Exactly.
coming from the territory.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking DiBiase, Rude. Another one that we missed was Jim Duggan.
Yokozuna.
No,
I thought he came in 89.
Yokozuna.
Yeah.
Came in like 92.
Oh, snap.
What? Junkyard Dog. Even though you put him
I
down, so
have him.
thank God you saved that one. Don Morocco was another one.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Soul Man Rocky Johnson.
Mm,
Could have that.
Alice.
Tony Alice was okay.
Yeah,
but
you could have
there's a lot of
that as a
people.
tag team, though. That would have been a good tag team.
We can list on and on. I'm sure next week when we do the 90s, we're going to have a lot of stacked people.
And if you have a team, why don't you put it together and
Yeah,
send it to us?
please.
See if
Give
they
us-
could beat our teams.
Yeah, just not even one team. Just do who you would have. Who do you think symbolizes the 80s pretty much, your 10? Or if you want to say, hey, I liked your team, but I think this team would be better. Just let us know. Like I said, we love to interact with you wrestling fans. So hit us up on social media. Please do. When we come back, it's time to close out our show. As always, it's our self-high five. And we're going to keep the Survivor Series theme going along. And this week, it is WWE World Heavyweight Championship matches in Survivor Series history. So stay tuned with our closeout segment.
Hi, I'm Robert from the PriMalLow Wrestling Show, here to tell you about our Twitter account. Follow our page at PriMalLow Show for fan interaction regarding professional wrestling. Thank you, and we can't wait to hear from you.
Welcome back to episode 31 of the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Rich Lopez, here with Robert Price and Tom Malloy.
Hello, hello.
Hey there, guys.
It is time to close out our show, and as always, it's our closeout segment, the Self High Five. Just before the break, I said we're just going to keep it Survivor Series themed, and this week it is championship matches in Survivor Series history. So let's go with Price, just because I liked his team a little bit better than Malloy's on a superstar basis.
That if looks can kill, you would be pushing daisies right now.
Yeah.
My 5 through 1, number 5, 25 Years to Taker. Taker versus Hogan from 91.
Yes.
Number 4, Big Show versus Triple H versus The Rock from 99.
That's the biggest letdown for fans.
Number 3, one of the biggest moments from Survivor Series history, the Screwjob, Montreal Screwjob. Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart, 97. I have Bautista versus Booker T in 06, and I have the second Screwjob, The Rock versus Mankind in 98.
Yeah, the mimicked one. Yeah,
Yes.
The great value version, I call it. But I'm interested to see why you have Big Show, Rock, and Triple H.
Just because of this is Big Show, them trying to build up Big Show from being the giant and actually giving him a career after he came from WCW.
Yeah. Do you want to explain any other ones? You know, like what's your number one again?
The Rock versus Mankind,
Yeah,
because
that's
this
right,
started a great feud. Mankind was one of the key players in making The Rock, that giving him that extra side,
Aggressive
like we always
side,
said.
yeah.
And also, I just love that entire card.
That was a good card. This is the tournament,
Right.
which we're going to probably do. I really thought about that.
Yeah,
I
we're
forgot
going to do the
that
tournament.
One of our PriMalLow remakes, maybe after the 90s next week, it'll be if we had to mimic the 1998 tournament, but make it this year, the 2015 version. What
Let's
would it be?
do it.
But go ahead. Do you want to continue any more or explain any more?
It could be a network special.
A network special. There you go.
There we go.
But Malloy, give me yourself high five. By the way, just so you don't get heartbroken, I really did like your PriMalLow remake.
Thanks.
No problem.
I was starting to tear up.
I'm sorry.
But number 5, I have Cena versus Angle, 2005 for the WWE title.
Great man.
Number 4, The Rock versus Mankind, 98. The Undertaker versus Hogan, 91.
Can you give the numbers down, dude? You said all
yeah.
these numbers. It's confusing.
Should I start over?
No. Just
All right.
your 3. Start with number 3.
My number 3 was The Undertaker versus Hulk Hogan. For number 2, I have the Elimination Chamber, the first ever Elimination Chamber. Then for the last one, I have HBK versus Bret Hart for the Montreal Screwjob.
All right.
97.
97, yeah.
Do you want to explain any of those?
I'll talk about the first ever Elimination Chamber match. That was honestly one of my favorite matches of all time. It was just it just brought a new atmosphere to the world of professional wrestling, and it was great to see HBK have his ultimate comeback, be in one of the craziest match situations of all time and winning it.
Yeah.
And he had terrible pants.
Yeah, those brown pants sucked.
He still got the championship, so I'm sure he's happy with it.
And he was the first person in a ladder match, Hell in a Cell, and Elimination Chamber.
Oh yeah, definitely. Let me see your list here real quick. Cena versus Angle. Talk about it.
I think that was a great way to look at the end of their feud, because it started when Cena first came in. He gave John Cena an initial push, and then they had the rap battles and Angle. It was funny. It was entertaining. After Cena was on fire, when he was actually likable to all ages, shapes, and sizes.
Yeah.
And the wrestling between those two, I think those two, Angle did it to better Cena, and Cena did it to say, hey, I'm a young guy, and I can roll with the older guys that've been here for a while.
Yeah, I agree. That was a good match. Go ahead, Bryce.
And then right before that, you had Chris Jericho face off with Cena.
So it was two.
And then
two of the
right
best underrated wrestlers of all time.
Right when Jericho was leaving, that he was fired by Eric Bischoff, this monster Kurt Angle came out.
Mm. That's when he was
and started
really
destroying
Cena.
So I thought that was a great match. And kudos to Tom.
Okay, I definitely, that was a great match. My number 5 through 1, I have Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart at 97. Excuse me. On the match scale, it was okay, but obviously it was just one of the most. It was probably the most important match in history, regards, and it kind of broke it down from a business to a sport, because Big Man chose business. You can't have his champion leave, on the same night, so he had to do what he had to do. So it was just monumental. My number 4, I have Psycho Sid versus Shawn Michaels in 1996 Survivor Series. It was a Madison Square Garden. Psycho Sid was white hot, and that's even when Shawn Michaels was hot. Psycho Sid was white hot, and it was just a great match. And I don't think anybody was expecting them, Shawn Michaels to lose that way. And it was a really good twist at the end with Jose Lothario, where he had that stroke with the camera or whatever.
Yeah.
So my number 3, Triple H versus Shawn Michaels versus John Cena at the 2009 Survivor Series. That was a Survivor Series where the tag teams, the 2 biggest tag teams on each brand, because it was still the brand extension, had to face off with the champion. It was Undertaker versus Chris Jericho and Big Show when they were Jericho.
Yeah.
And then this match, which was DX versus John Cena, the bell rings 2 seconds into it. Shawn Michaels super kicks Triple H, and it just set the tone for that match. There's so many ups and downs in that match, and it's just amazing.
Didn't Triple H put Shawn Michaels through a table?
Yeah, he spine busted. It's amazing. It's a great match. My number 2 is Undertaker versus Hulk Hogan. That literally, spawned the career of Undertaker to be one of you could argue it as being the greatest wrestler of all time. Definitely the best gimmick of all time.
Hey, we're here 25 years later, so talking about how great he's performing. So.
Exactly. And then my number 1 is Bret Hart versus Diesel at the 1995 Series.
Ooh, wow.
I love that.
But why that one? Why is that his number 1?
I don't know. I just think it's a side of Bret Hart you never really saw, and that actually sparked 3 aggressive matches with him against. First of all, that was the third one. The first between Diesel and Bret Hart. The first one was at 1994 King of the Ring. I think it ended in a no contest, or I think Diesel lost. And I think Diesel lost. And then Diesel beat Bret Hart at the 1995 Royal Rumble. So this was the tiebreaker. They were both faces, but after the match, Diesel went heel. So I'm always a big fan of heel Diesel. And then Bret Hart, who's known as this technician and stuff like that, was really, really brutal in that match. And it was just a side that you didn't see. And that spawned off, like I said, the 3 brutal matches that he had as champion. Well, championship matches. The first one with Diesel, the second one with British Bulldog at the December in Your House, and then the Royal Rumble one in '96 with Undertaker. So that spawned the aggressive side of Bret Hart. So it was just something new to me, and I liked it. We are the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Like I said, social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Our Facebook page is the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Like it, please, and interact with us. We love talking to you guys. Our Twitter handle.
There you go again.
There you go again.
50-50 today, Rich.
I'll take the 1 for 2, man. I always struggle with that. It's like a tongue twister. Is at PriMalLow Show. That's our Twitter handle. There we go. SoundCloud, PriMalLow Wrestling Show, and YouTube. Just look it up, PriMalLow Wrestling Show episode, whatever one you want. So give us ideas for next week if you want. Like I said, we're just trying to keep a Survivor Series theme, and next week maybe we'll talk about Raw if it's not lackluster like it's been. So, you guys want to do your sign-offs as usual?
We're running on diesel fumes.
It's time. It's time to end the show.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and stay tuned for episode number 32.